135 humans are sealed inside a nuclear submarine 1,300 feet deep, buried beneath 1 million tons of crushing ocean, breathing manufactured air and sleeping inches from high explosives. A single microscopic error will obliterate them in under 90 seconds. How exactly do you psychologically break and rebuild a normal human being to endure this suffocating, high-pressure purgatory without losing their mind? Let's plunge into the silent abyss and uncover the terrifying reality of the ultimate underwater warriors. Right now, at this exact millisecond, 135 American sailors are trapped inside a pressurized steel tube beneath 1 million tons of freezing, lightless salt water. They are operating 1,300 feet below the churning surface of the Atlantic Ocean, enduring a hydrostatic pressure of 578 pounds per square inch. At this depth, the ocean is actively trying to crush their hull with a force capable of flattening a titanium bank vault. Yet, amidst this terrifying reality, these young men and women are casually eating freshly baked chocolate chip cookies and playing poker cards. They drive the $3 billion Virginia-class nuclear fast attack submarine, designated SSN 774, propelled by the massive S9G pressurized water reactor. This 8,000-ton apex predator can silently sprint underwater at speeds exceeding 34 knots. But the ultimate weapon in the U.S. military arsenal is not the Mark 48 advanced capability heavyweight torpedo. The true marvel is the remarkably young enlisted sailor, isolated in total darkness, managing terrifyingly complex systems that dictate global survival. Submarine warfare represents the ultimate paradox of modern military strategy. We take the deadliest, most sophisticated thermonuclear technology ever conceived and entrust it to human beings crammed into a claustrophobic cylinder measuring just 33 feet in diameter. For up to 140 consecutive days, these phantom warriors operate with zero windows, zero natural sunlight, and absolutely zero radio contact with their families. They vanish completely into the ocean's acoustic shadows, radiating fewer decibels than the ambient background noise of a swimming shrimp. The baseline of human existence is immediately shattered the second the main ballast tanks flood with seawater. These operators endure a brutal 18-hour cycle, rotating through 6 hours of intense watchstanding, 6 hours of frantic maintenance, and 6 hours of severely fragmented sleep. Their circadian rhythms are violently erased by harsh fluorescent lighting and the relentless mechanical hum of the ventilation system. Furthermore, carbon dioxide levels inside the hull constantly hover around 4,000 parts per million, forcing the human brain to function under a mild, chronic hypoxia. Despite this immense physical strain, these sailors must maintain razor-sharp cognitive focus, because there is absolutely zero margin for error. A single misplaced decimal point in a sonar buoyancy calculation does not cause a mere operational delay. It instantly transforms a highly advanced warship into an 86 million pound iron coffin, plunging uncontrollably past its classified crush depth. In this unforgiving aquatic theater, an everyday surface hazard instantly becomes a catastrophic, apocalyptic threat. A localized Class C electrical fire on a surface destroyer is a standard, highly manageable emergency. But inside a submerged, hermetically sealed bubble, a raging fire will consume the finite breathable air in less than 90 seconds, filling the compartment with highly toxic smoke. Likewise, a simple ruptured pipe at this depth blasts seawater into the hull at explosive velocities exceeding 500 miles per hour, slicing through solid metal. Therefore, operational perfection is never merely an aspiration. It is the absolute baseline of survival. To endure this torturous environment requires a psychological resilience that borders on the genuinely superhuman. These invisible warriors willingly sacrifice their fundamental freedoms to serve as the silent vanguard of strategic deterrence. They rely on ironclad discipline and profound technical mastery to survive the crushing deep. But before any sailor is ever permitted to face the lethal reality of the deep ocean, the military must guarantee they will not break under catastrophic stress. They must first survive a strictly monitored, brutally manufactured nightmare ashore, specifically designed to simulate a completely flooded, inescapable, watery grave. Welcome to Naval Submarine Base New London in Connecticut. This facility is a brutal psychological forge. The Navy purposefully shatters the civilian mindset to rebuild these individuals into highly lethal operators. They must conquer the grueling basic enlisted submarine school before stepping near a classified nuclear reactor. The first terrifying crucible is the Pressurized Submarine Escape Trainer, designated as the PSET. This towering facility houses an 84,000-gallon vertical cylinder, plunging trainees into a dark, 37-foot deep water column. Instructors force recruits to execute a high-stress free ascent from a disabled submarine using the SEIEMK-11 survival suit. This bright orange, heavy polyurethane suit is their absolute last tactical defense against the freezing abyss. It provides critical thermal insulation, protecting the sailor from extreme hypothermia and toxic elements. But the PSET is not a swimming lesson. It is a crash course in the ruthless physics of Boyle's Law. As the sailor rapidly ascends, the compressed air inside their lungs violently expands due to decreasing hydrostatic pressure. If a panicked recruit instinctively holds their breath for a microsecond, the consequences are fatal. Their lungs will literally rupture under the expanding volume, causing a catastrophic, unsurvivable arterial gas embolism. To survive, they must continuously scream at the top of their lungs, forcefully expelling air the entire way up. This intensely unnatural act requires an absolute cognitive override of fundamental human survival instincts under immense physical duress. Abandoning a $3 billion warship is always the absolute worst-case scenario. The primary strategic objective of submarine doctrine is always keeping the massive steel cylinder alive. Therefore, trainees are hurled directly into the claustrophobic nightmare of the advanced firefighting gauntlet. Instructors trap them inside a compartmentalized, pitch-black steel simulator and ignite raging Class A and Class C electrical fires. Temperatures inside these highly confined metal bulkheads instantly spike past 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, aggressively blistering unprotected skin. Inside a submerged submarine, a fire violently cannibalizes the strictly finite oxygen supply while vomiting toxic fumes. Within seconds, the artificial atmosphere transforms into a lethal soup of carbon monoxide and hydrogen cyanide gas. Recruits have strictly less than 20 seconds to correctly don their SCBA. They must blindly coordinate in absolute zero visibility smoke, dragging heavy fire hoses through narrow, watertight steel hatches. They operate entirely through physical touch and brute force, suppressing paralyzing fear to execute precise, tactical fire containment procedures. Yet, as terrifying as a submerged inferno is, fire is only the second deadliest enemy they will face. The ultimate, unrelenting nemesis is the crushing weight of the dark ocean itself. To prepare for sudden hull integrity failures, trainees are violently shoved into the flooded damage control wet trainer. This flooded room is a hyper-realistic, functional mock-up of a modern submarine engine room actively tearing itself apart. Without warning, a massive high-pressure pipe violently ruptures right in front of their faces. Freezing salt water aggressively blasts into the confined compartment at a devastating flow rate exceeding 2,000 gallons per minute. The acoustic violence of the rushing water reaches a deafening 130 decibels, instantly destroying all vocal communication. Working frantically in chest-deep water, desperate sailors must utilize simple wooden wedges, steel shoring, and sheer kinetic muscle. They must forcefully hammer a temporary patch over the catastrophic leak to prevent the compartment from rapidly flooding. This brutal gauntlet directly enforces a core pillar of naval doctrine. Aboard a fast-attack submarine, there are absolutely no dedicated damage control specialists coming to save you. Every single sailor on board, from the youngest culinary specialist to the veteran commanding officer, is a highly trained primary responder. If a pipe violently bursts at maximum test depth, the crushing ocean does not care about your military occupational specialty. The Navy strategically overloads their central nervous systems with sheer terror to forge muscle memory. This relentless conditioning transforms ordinary individuals into highly disciplined phantom warriors who effortlessly compartmentalize extreme mental panic. They learn to weaponize raw adrenaline, executing critical damage control protocols with cold precision while staring death directly in the face. They emerged from the Naval Submarine School as hardened operators, fully qualified to plunge into the silent, unforgiving depths. Surviving the explosive violence of a simulated deep-sea catastrophe is merely the entry fee to this highly elite and secretive brotherhood. The true soul-crushing test officially begins the exact moment the heavy steel hatch aggressively seals shut above their heads. They are immediately locked into a bizarre, inescapable reality where the bright sun permanently vanishes, and normal surface time violently ceases to exist completely. The heavy steel hatch slams shut, instantly severing all physical connection to the surface world. Heavy locking mechanisms fully engage, hermetically sealing 135 American sailors inside a pressurized titanium alloy cocoon. The immense main ballast tanks flood with freezing seawater, and the Virginia-class submarine silently slips beneath the crashing waves. This is the harrowing beginning of a highly classified, covert deployment stretching past 140 days. Once submerged, the fundamental concept of a standard 24-hour day is violently eradicated. The crew immediately transitions into a grueling 18-hour rotation, operating under the unforgiving rhythm of 6 hours on watch and 12 hours off. But this downtime is a complete illusion, heavily saturated with rigorous tactical training, endless preventative maintenance, and demanding qualification exams. True, uninterrupted rest is an absolute luxury that simply does not exist anywhere within the elite silent service. When a critically exhausted sailor finally earns the right to sleep, they retreat into the incredibly cramped berthing compartments. The physical dimensions of a submarine bunk, widely known as a rack, are shockingly restrictive. Each rack measures approximately 6 feet long, 2 feet wide, and a suffocating 18 inches high. It is essentially a dark, coffin-sized cubby violently stacked 3 tiers high, directly against the curved, freezing pressure hull of the warship. Junior enlisted personnel face an even more grueling reality, known officially in the Navy as hot racking, because there are significantly fewer beds than actual crew members on board. 3 sailors are forced to permanently share 2 available racks, the very moment one operator wakes up to stand their 6-hour watch. Another exhausted sailor crawls into the exact same, still warm mattress. They violently pull a thin privacy curtain shut, desperately attempting to isolate themselves from the relentless mechanical humming of the heavy ventilation. Yet, amidst this intense claustrophobia and grueling operational tempo, the Navy executes a brilliant tactical psychological maneuver. They actively weaponize culinary excellence to maintain absolute psychological dominance over the crushing environment. Deep inside this lethal predator, the cramped galley is producing the absolute highest quality food in the entire United States Armed Forces. The submarine force intrinsically understands that exceptional crew morale is a strictly non-negotiable warfighting asset. A highly trained team of elite culinary specialists meticulously prepares over 390 high-calorie meals daily within an impossibly small stainless steel workspace. They bake fresh artisan bread from scratch, grill heavily seasoned burgers, and pull warm chocolate chip cookies directly from the industrial oven. The sheer contrast is absolutely mind-boggling. These young warriors casually consume gourmet dishes while sitting directly above a heavily fortified magazine loaded with explosive Mark 48 torpedoes. This exceptional food serves as their only tangible tether to the distant surface world. It accurately marks the passage of time when the natural sun cannot, establishing a crucial sense of psychological normalcy within an entirely unnatural, extreme high-pressure environment. But ensuring baseline survival at 1,000 feet deep requires far more than just high-quality operational calories. The submarine must artificially manufacture the very fundamental elements of human biological life itself from absolutely nothing. Because they cannot draw fresh breathing air from the toxic ocean, the vessel utilizes highly advanced electrolytic oxygen generators. These massive systems violently split seawater molecules, harvesting pure oxygen to sustain the crew while aggressively scrubbing lethal carbon dioxide from the artificial atmosphere. Simultaneously, high-capacity reverse osmosis desalinators forcefully push highly pressurized ocean water through microscopic membranes. This complex engineering marvel flawlessly produces up to 12,000 gallons of pure, drinkable fresh water every single day. This total environmental isolation dictates a strictly enforced zero-tolerance policy for airborne chemical contaminants. Even harmless surface products, like standard aerosol shaving cream, are strictly prohibited on board. A single rogue chemical introduced into the closed ventilation loop will continuously recirculate, poisoning the crew within hours. Operational discipline is never optional. It is the fundamental law. Every square inch of this massive warship is engineered to maintain the biological existence of its crew. The psychological burden of this isolation forces the sailors to forge unbreakable bonds of mutual trust. They rely completely on the operator, standing next to them for survival, creating an exclusive brotherhood civilian surface dwellers cannot comprehend. But sustaining fragile biological life down in this pitch-black abyss is merely the logistical foundation of their existence. It simply keeps them alive long enough to execute their true, deeply terrifying, and highly classified offensive combat purpose. The true brain of this submerged apex predator is the highly classified attack center, universally known in the Navy as the control room. This digitized nerve center operates in a perpetual, eerie state of rigged for red illumination. This specific, low-frequency lighting strictly preserves critical night vision for periscope operations when breaching the surface at midnight. However, down in the crushing deep, there are absolutely no glass windows to look through. The outside physical reality is entirely a complex mathematical hallucination, completely generated by raw acoustic data. Operators stare unblinkingly at complex waterfall sonar displays, analyzing microscopic sound waves gathered from the spherical hydrophone array mounted on the bow. In this terrifying realm of total sensory deprivation, advanced sonar is their only reliable tether to absolute reality. A highly trained acoustic technician can effortlessly distinguish the mechanical acoustic signature of a hostile Russian Akula-class submarine from a biological blue whale call at distances exceeding 50 nautical miles. They actively hunt in complete, suffocating darkness. They rely entirely on microscopic frequency shifts and the Doppler effect to definitively target the unseen enemy. Once a lethal firing solution is perfectly established, the kinetic action shifts immediately to the heavily fortified torpedo room. This highly secured forward compartment houses the devastating Mark 48 advanced capability heavyweight torpedo. Each of these 19-foot-long mechanical beasts weighs exactly 3,695 pounds. They pack a 650-pound PBX N-103 high-explosive warhead designed to literally break the titanium keel of a hostile warship in half. Loading these massive cylindrical weapons into the 4 hydraulic launch tubes is an intensely dangerous, meticulously choreographed mechanical ballet. A single microscopic human miscalculation in the highly pressurized tube equalization process will instantly flood the entire compartment. Seawater would violently blast inward at lethal velocities exceeding 500 miles per hour. This catastrophic failure would immediately drown the crew and sink the $3 billion warship into the abyssal plain. Therefore, the exhausted crew executes these lethal weapon loading drills with terrifying, cold precision. They drill relentlessly until the sheer mechanical muscle memory becomes completely instinctual, totally overriding all fundamental human fear. Bearing the ultimate crushing psychological weight of this entire destructive ecosystem is the commanding officer. Known simply as the CO, this single individual wields absolute, unquestioned, godlike authority over 135 isolated souls. Their profound operational burden of command is unimaginably heavy. They are personally, legally, and morally responsible for both the physical survival and mental sanity of every single sailor on board. In a catastrophic emergency beneath the crushing waves, there is absolutely no higher military command they can frantically call for tactical advice. To truly validate their absolute global dominance, the United States Submarine Force regularly deploys to the most unforgiving combat theater on Earth. During highly classified operations designated ICEX, These massive vessels deliberately navigate blindly beneath the frozen, jagged Arctic Ocean canopy. Operating in lethal sub-zero waters, they must violently smash their reinforced steel sails upward through 3 to 5 feet of solid glacial ice. Surfacing safely in this desolate, unfrozen wasteland requires absolute navigational perfection. It demands an unbreakable, collective human will to survive extreme, relentless adversity. Beyond heavyweight kinetic torpedoes, these submerged platforms secretly carry highly lethal UGM-109 Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles, housed vertically within their reinforced pressure hulls. These precision weapons can accurately obliterate high-value inland enemy targets over 1,000 miles away. They project devastating American military firepower globally without ever breaking the ocean surface. This unseen strike capability absolutely terrifies rival nations. There is virtually zero early warning before the fiery missile violently breaches the crashing waves, raining sudden, overwhelming kinetic destruction from the sky. This unmatched strategic combat capability relies entirely on the profound, completely uncelebrated sacrifices of the remarkably young enlisted American sailor. They willingly surrender their fundamental civilian freedom, their precious youth, and their basic physical comfort to silently patrol the darkest global abyss. These invisible phantoms routinely endure crushing claustrophobia, toxic recycled air, and profound psychological isolation. They endure this brutal, submerged purgatory simply so the oblivious surface world can peacefully sleep in the warm, safe sunlight. Their ironclad operational discipline represents the absolute highest, most noble pinnacle of human military dedication and patriotic service. The United States Navy currently operates exactly 71 advanced nuclear-powered submarines, ensuring an unmatched, continuous strategic overmatch against any potential global adversary. The unparalleled dedication of these silent warriors deserves profound respect and recognition from every civilian who benefits from their invisible shield. If this intense deep dive into their terrifying, claustrophobic reality has shifted your perspective on military sacrifice, please hit that subscribe button right now. Leave a like on this video to actively honor the incredible daily endurance of these unseen underwater operators. But what exactly happens when the absolute apex hunter suddenly becomes the actively hunted? What terrifying, split-second tactical protocols are instantly activated when one of these massive nuclear leviathans is actively engaged by a hostile enemy torpedo?